It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead, particularly the second half of Season 6. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a new theory that's going around when it comes to Madison Clark and her potential return to Fear the Walking Dead. This is a theory about a walker that we saw in the trailer for the second half of Season 6. The walker that was tied to a tree with vines growing around it. This is what I call the trapped walker theory. Stay tuned, we'll be right back to break this down. Alright, so as always, before we get into this, if you're not a subscriber and enjoyed the content by the end, consider subscribing to join our community, share and smash the like button, and press the bell to be notified when we upload. So with that said, let's dive right into it. So this is of course the walker that we're talking about. So they released like a key art for the second half of Season 6, which features Morgan and Alicia and this particular walker at the center. Now we already talked about this poster in another video, so I'm not gonna really break down the poster itself, but one thing we are going to focus on is the walker that's tied to the tree with vines growing around it. We did see this particular walker in the main trailer of Season 6B as well, so it's not like something that they just had in the poster. It's something that actually happens, like a particular scene from the second half that they incorporated into this poster. So before we actually jump into breaking down this theory, at the root of the theory, no pun intended, is that this particular walker is a representation of Madison Clark. Now there's two groups of people. The first group who actually think this is Madison, like physically. People in this group say that maybe the way the walker is dressed or the way the walker is represented hints that this is actually Madison. Now I don't think that. I don't think there's anything in here that points towards this being Madison. There isn't anything unique to Madison that this walker is wearing or anything like that, so I don't think that there's any solid evidence or concrete evidence pointing towards this actually being Madison. Now there is a second group of people who think that this is a symbol of Madison or symbolism about Madison's potential return, and I do kind of agree with them, like that group. Although I don't think this is Madison, I do think that something about this walker and the way it's represented could be a hint about Madison's return. Now let me break this down a little bit more for you. Now the one thing that's very clear with the way this walker is represented is that it's a trapped walker, and the way that it looks is meant to symbolize, in my opinion, some sort of a crucifixion. Obviously, the walker is not being crucified or anything like that, but just the way it looks, it kind of gives me that vibe. Now, going to the first point, this walker seemingly being trapped, I think could definitely be a representation or a tease towards Madison, because of course Madison was trapped before she died. Walkers were surrounding her, just like vines are surrounding this particular walker. So I think there's definitely something there when it comes to that. Also, when it comes to this walker representing crucifixion, that could also relate, because assuming Madison does return, of course that's a big assumption at this point, but assuming she does, then this could definitely connect, because of course at the essence, crucifixion is all about the return that seems impossible. You know what I mean? So that could kind of relate in that way as well. Now, in terms of Madison actually returning, I've done a lot of videos about that and how I think it could work, but there's a chance that it might not work. I'm not going to get into that because I've done some videos on that already. You can go check it out if you're interested. But I think if they do bring Madison back, I hope that they don't compromise the way the story is and the direction the story is going towards for the sake of bringing Madison back and kind of refocusing the attention back towards Madison. I don't know if that makes sense, but just to put it simply, I hope that Madison's return doesn't ruin the positive direction that the story is going towards. Let's just say that. Now, the other thing that comes into play is how she could come back. Now, there's tons of ways they could bring her back, but there's two ways that seem kind of possible in my opinion. The first is that Madison could possibly be connected to the End is the Beginning group. either she's captured by them or she's with them or something along those lines. Because of course, everything surrounding this particular walker with vines growing around it is related to the end is the beginning group. Like, this walker, I think, is a symbol of that group in a way. So because of that, if Madison is to return, that would make the most sense because that's how she was kind of teased at returning in the first place. Of course, that is if any of what I said earlier is true, and that's what they intended. The second way that this could go and Madison could return is for her to be the one that actually helped and saved Morgan. Of course, when we last saw Morgan at the end of season 5, he was shot and he was bleeding. But when we returned in season 6, someone helped him. Now, they didn't reveal up to this point who that was, but one of the rumors is that Madison was the one that helped him. That's another direction that they could go. Now, all of that, I think, is unrealistic until they explain why Madison has not tried to find Alicia. I'm not even talking about Strand, Danny, and everyone else. Just Alicia. Because at the end of the day, Alicia was her family. So if she's gonna look for anyone, it would be Alicia. So until they explain why Madison hasn't returned to find Alicia all this time, I call BS on all of these different ways that they could bring her back. But with all of that said, I'm interested to know everyone's thoughts and opinions. What do you think about this theory about this walker symbolizing Madison's return? Do you think Madison's gonna return or not? And also, if she does, first, how do you think she'll return? And second, how do you think they're gonna be able to explain why she hasn't tried to come back all this time? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. If you are not a subscriber and enjoyed the content, subscribe to join our community, share and smash the like button, and press the bell to be notified when we upload. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.